بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا أضاف الطلاق إلى جملتها أو إلى ما يعبر به عن الجملة وقع الطلاق لأنه أضيف إلى محله. And when he attributes a talaq to a whole self or towards that which is expressed with it on behalf of the whole person, then talaq will occur because it has been attributed to its mahal, to a correct place. In other words, a man, he can't give a talaq just by shouting talaq, talaq. You understand? He needs to attribute the talaq. Who's he giving the talaq to? So only when he says, you are, you understand? Right. So there's ذلك مثل أن يقول أنت طالق لأن التاء ضمير المرأة. And that is the lightness when he says أنت, so you are divorced, right? Because ta is a zamir of the woman there. Anti. That anti refers to the woman, to his wife, right? أو يقول رقبتك طالق أو عنقك طالق أو رأسك طالق أو روحك أو بدنك أو جسدك أو فرجك أو وجهك. Or he says your neck is divorced, or your neck is divorced, or your head is divorced, or your ruh, your body, or your body, or your farj, or your face, right? لأنه يعبر بها عن جميع البدن, because it is expressed with these words here on behalf of the entire body. You say these words and you mean the person, right? أما الجسد والبدن فظاهر. As of the body and the body, then the badan and jasad, that is quite clear, right? That refers to the whole person. وكذا غيرهما, and likewise besides these two words here. قال الله تعالى فتحرير رقبة. Allah Ta'ala says, then the freeing of a neck, the freeing of a neck is free a person, right? قال فظلت أعناقهم, and their necks became, in other words, they became. وقال عليه السلام لعن الله الفروج على السروج. And Nabi Karim says Allah Ta'ala has cursed the farj on the saddles, right? So the farj here referred to the women, right? Allah curses the women on the saddles. وَيُقَالُ فُلَانٌ رَأْسُ الْقَوْمِ. And it is said that so and so is the head of the people, right? In other words, he is the leader, so referring to him himself, right? وَوَجْهُ الْعَرْبِ. And so is the face of the Arabs, right? So in other words, he's the famous person in the Arabs. So وَهَلَكَ رُوحُهُ, and his ruh was destroyed, died, right? بِمَعْنَى نَفْسُهُ, his nafs was destroyed or died, right? So all these here, these words are said, and it refers to the person himself. وَمِنْ هَذَا الْقَبِيلِ الدَّمُ فِي رِوَايَةٍ. And from this category is blood in one riwayat, right? يُقَالُ دَمُ هَدْرٌ, his blood is maaf. In other words, if he killed somebody, then his blood becomes wajibul qatl now. Qisas must be taken. So they say his blood is now batil, maaf. He doesn't have that sanctity anymore, right? So that refers to him himself. You know what is blood maaf? In other words, his whole body is maaf. You know, he is the person. He's now he deserves to be killed. وَمِنْهُ النَّفْسُ. And from it is the word nafs, and this is also quite clear that nafs refers to a person. وكذلك إن طلق جزءا شائعا مثل أن يقول نصفك أو ثلثك طالق. And likewise, if he talaq an unspecified portion, right? So there he was using specified words. You say he used neck and face and farj, you understand? But now here if he divorces an unspecified portion of her, for example, he says half of you or one third of you is divorced. لأن الجزء الشائع محل لسائر التصرفات كالبيع وغيره, right? Because an unspecified portion is a mahal, a place for all transactions, just like a sale and besides it, right? In other words, you can buy half of this room. You understand it? Which half is unspecified. You understand it? Right. فَكَذَا يَكُونُ مَحَلًّا لِلطَّلَاقِ. So likewise, that unspecified portion will also be a mahal for talaq. إِلَّا أَنَّهُ لَا يَتَجَزَّى فِي حَقِّ الطَّلَاقِ. Except that it cannot be broken into portions in the right of talaq. فَيَثْبُتُ فِي الْكُلِّ ضَرُورَةً. So that talaq will be established in the whole person out of necessity. You understand it? So you divorced half of your wife. Now it's unspecified half that you divorced. But now you can't break talaq into half, so it becomes the whole, right? ولو قال يدك طالق أو رجلك طالق لم يقع الطلاق. Anyway says your hand is divorced or your foot is divorced, then talaq will not occur. وقال زفر الشافعي رحمه الله يقع. إمام زفر الإمام الشافعي رحمه الله said will occur. وكذلك خلاف في كل جزء معين لا يعبر به عن جميع البدن. And likewise the اختلاف will be there in every specified portion, right, which is not expressed on behalf of the whole body. In other words, every portion of the body you say you use, and it's a specific portion of the body that you use, any lump that you use of the body, and that lump doesn't denote or doesn't refer to a whole person, like a foot, like a finger, you understand, or a toe, you understand. All these here doesn't refer to the whole body, right? But Imam Zuhri, Imam Shafi, they say they also it will occur. ولهما أنه جزء متمتع بعقد النكاح. Imam Zufar and Imam Shafi Rahmallah's dalils is that the foot and the finger and the toe and the hand, these are portions which are benefited with via the transaction of nikah. You understand? They saying the foot was not halal for you, and the finger was not halal for you, the hand was not halal for you. But once the nikah took place, then it became halal, and you could take benefit from those lumps. وما هذا حاله يكون محلا لحكم النكاح فيكون محلا للطلاق. So that which its condition is this, right? Then it becomes a mahal for the outcome of nikah, which means you can now take benefit with it, right? First it was not permissible, and now it became permissible for you, and you can now take benefit from it. So that in us taking benefit, in other words, it's a mahal for the outcome of nikah. So you made the nikah, and now it became a halal for you. So likewise, it will be a mahal for talaq. It became a mahal for the hukam of nikah, so it will be a mahal for talaq also. Something that was not permissible, it now became permissible via nikah. So likewise, that same thing now will be something which you can attribute the talaq to. You understand? So it can become a mahal for talaq. فَيَثْبُتُ الْحُكْمُ فِيهِ قَضِيَّةً لِلْإِضَافَةِ. So the ruling will be established in that lam now, out of the demand of the attribution. So you attributed the talaq to the hand. So which means the talaq entered the hand now because you attributed it, right? ثُمَّ يَسْرِي إِلَى الْكُلِّ كَمَا فِي الْجُزْءِ الشَّائِي. Then from the hand it will penetrate to the whole body, just as it penetrated in the unspecified portion. When you said half, so the talaq first goes into half, and just from half it goes to the whole body. Likewise, I say from the hand it goes to the whole body. بخلاف ما إذا أضيف إليه النكاح لأن التعدي ممتنع. Right. So now the question comes out that, okay, if you say this, that means you can say, I've married half of you. Right? Then you should be allowed, and then that half should spread through the whole, the other half should also become married, and you should be allowed, and then the nikah should be done. So they say no. Contrary to when nikah is attributed to these lums here now, right? لأن التعدي ممتنع, right? Because the transfer or the spreading is prohibited. The spreading of the permissibility in the hand now. See, he married the hand, right? He married her hand. So now the hand became permissible, but the spreading should have become permissible, right? But then that permissibility now, it can't spread to the whole body. They say this is Imam Zufar, Imam Shafi. Why? إذ الحرمة في سائر الأجزاء تغلب الحل في هذه الجزء. Because the hurmat in all the other lums overpowers the permissibility in the slum, right? وفي الطلاق الأمر على القلب, right? And in talaq, the matter is in the opposite. In other words, there the hurmat will spread. You understand? Because once the hurmat is in a portion of a portion, it can spread right through, right? Because whenever there's a usul, and they put forward this usul also, whenever halal and haram gathers, then haram overpowers, even though haram is little bit. You understand it? Even though haram is little bit. Yeah, okay, now we'll have to leave it till there because there's no our dalil after that. So you understand it? So there's important usul here now they're putting Imam Zufar, Imam Shafi is putting, which is also applies for our daily life. You understand it? A thing can be 80, 90% halal, but then there's 10% haram in it, then the whole thing becomes not permissible to do.